You're watching Football Daily, and here are 10 players who overcame shocking adversity to reach the very top. 10. Petr Cech. Chelsea legend, Arsenal hero, Petr Cech has become one of the most reliable and instantly recognisable goalkeepers in world football, due to both his incredible ability and iconic scrum cap. But the Czech international doesn't wear it as a fashion statement. The cap protects his fragile skull, following a collision with Reading striker Stephen Hunt all the way back in 2006. As Cech slid in to collect the ball, he collided awkwardly with Hunt's knee, leaving him with a fractured skull, a concussion, and unable to play for over 3 months. Undeterred, the now Arsenal goalkeeper came back fighting, and despite doctors forcing him to wear the protective cap, went on a run of 810 minutes without conceding immediately after his return. Since then, he has won an incredible 2 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, and a Champions League, the definition of bouncing back from life-threatening injury. 9. Nwankwo Kanu. The lanky Arsenal legend may be known more for his comical appearance than natural goal-scoring ability, but what most don't know is the Nigerian almost had his career end at the age of 20. During his time at Inter Milan, club doctors discovered a serious heart problem that required urgent surgery to replace his aortic valve and kept him out for over a year. However, Kanu pushed on to win a UEFA Cup, 2 Premier League titles and 3 FA Cups, all while setting up 5 different heart clinics across Africa in order to treat ill children from his home continent. The 6'6" dynamo played until he was 36, or maybe 48 if you believe certain articles, and despite undergoing heart surgery again in 2014, he goes down in football history as an unconventional and determined legend. 8. Ivan Klasnic. Remember Ivan Klasnic? You definitely will if you're a fan of Werder Bremen or Bolton Wanderers, as the striker clocked up a half-decent 1 goal every 3 games for both sides. But what makes the Croatian story truly unique is that in 2006 he suffered major kidney failure, but was saved thanks to an emergency donation from his father. Despite this, Klasnic played on for another 7 years, including his cult stint at the Trotters, and even became the first player in history to be capped by his national side after a major organ transplant. Sadly, Klasnic's new kidney failed in 2016, and the now retired striker is fighting for his life in hospital while he waits for another transplant. 7. Mario Balotelli. The Italian maverick himself, Mad Mario, may have started his career at Lumezzane, but it was his start in life that gives him a place on our list. At the age of just 2, Balotelli was rejected by his parents and sent into care because they didn't want to pay for his medical bills. However, the child was adopted by Francesco and Silvia Balotelli, who raised him as their own. The Italian striker took their surname, and boy did he make it famous, growing into a hugely popular, if hit and miss, superstar. Balotelli's best performances arguably came at Euro 2012, where he dedicated all of his goals to his foster mother Silvia, who turned his life around so drastically. 6. Stefan Markolf. Who, you might be saying? Well, let me tell you the insane story of Stefan Markolf, one of the only deaf footballers ever to play at the top of the professional game. The German was born 90% deaf, but through constant learning and speech therapy, taught himself nearly perfect pronunciation of the spoken word. Despite playing with 2 specially designed hearing aids, Markolf still cannot hear referees, and all officials are instructed not to caution him before the game should he play on past the whistle. But how good can a deaf footballer really be, we hear you ask? Well, let Jurgen Klopp tell you, as he claimed that Markolf is exceptionally talented and has a rocket of a left peg. 5. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo may be one of the greatest footballers in history, but like big Nwankwo Kanu before him, CR7 was nearly forced to retire early due to a heart condition. The Portuguese icon was diagnosed as a child with a racing heart, and at the age of just 15, he was forced to choose between dangerous surgery to correct the problem or retiring. Fortunately for Ronaldo, the heart operation was successful, and despite doctors telling him it was a risk to continue playing, he was back out on the pitch just 10 days later. To say he's made the most of that second chance would be a little bit of an understatement. 4. Garrincha. Brazilian Garrincha is one of the Seleção's favourite sons, and the country famously did not lose an international game when he was partnered with his footballing soulmate, Pelé. But it all could have been so different for the little bird, as he was born with a crooked spine, warped knees, and a left leg a couple of inches shorter than his right. Instead, he led Brazil to World Cup glory in 1962 with Pelé out injured, finishing top goalscorer in the process. He also made over 650 appearances for Botafogo, despite not starting his career until his late teens. It is said that during his first training session, he put the ball through the legs of Nilton Santos, a Brazilian international, who, after the session, insisted the club sign him. But, as with many a great showman, Garrincha also led a flamboyant lifestyle off the pitch. A man they called the joy of the people often found his solace at the bottom of a bottle, leading to cirrhosis of the liver. The angel with bent legs died penniless and out of the public eye in 1983, but a stadium now stands in his name in the capital Brasilia to ensure that while he's gone, his exploits will never be forgotten. 3. Salvador Cabanas. Another small name with a big story, Paraguayan striker Salvador Cabanas was a prolific striker in South America, excelling for both Chiapas and Club America. In 2007, he was named South American Footballer of the Year and was top goal scorer in the Copa Libertadores in 2008, the continent's equivalent of the Champions League. However, in 2010, he was enjoying a casual drink in a bar when he exchanged words with a Mexican gangster who went by the alias JJ. Different accounts say different things about what happened next, but one thing's for sure, Cabanas was shot in the head and lived to tell the tale. 2 years later, the striker made a return for 3rd Division Paraguayan team Octubre, despite suffering from short-term memory loss. And although he seems to have lost his eye for goal, he could well have lost his life. 2. Jonas Gutierrez. Jonas Gutierrez was most notably a no-nonsense midfielder for Newcastle, who he was with for no less than 7 years, scoring the goal that secured their Premiership survival in 2015. However, before this fairy tale moment, the Argentinian had undergone major surgery for testicular cancer back in his homeland in 2013. Upon making a full recovery, he found his chances limited at Newcastle and was loaned out to Norwich. A strange scenario perhaps for a man who had been lauded by Lionel Messi, and whose Argentina manager once said that his team sheet consisted of Messi, Mascherano, Gutierrez, and 8 more. Upon Gutierrez's return as a sub against Man United, countryman Fabrizio Colaccini handed him the armband. His contribution in the final months ensured Newcastle's safety, but he was still let go when his contract expired, shamefully via text. An ugly end to a hard-working, enduring club servant. 1. Eric Abidal. Eric Abidal was a formidable defender who showed just as much dogged determination off the pitch as he did on it when he was diagnosed with a liver tumour in 2011. The big Frenchman represented Barcelona from 2007 to 2013, and following routine tests at the club, the full extent of his condition was revealed. He immediately went under the surgeon's knife and incredibly returned to the fold 6 weeks later to help secure the Champions League for the Blaugrana with a win over Man United at Wembley. The defender said his manager's support and insistence he start if fit gave him all the motivation he needed. And Carles Puyol, the club captain at the time, gave Abidal the honour of lifting the trophy first, a gesture of true sportsmanship. However, the cancer returned and ravaged his liver, meaning a transplant was his only chance of survival. Abidal has gone on record to say the rumours of Dani Alves offering him his liver are true, but that he simply couldn't let him do it. Fortunately, Abidal's cousin was a match, and even though he was released by Barca after his second recuperation period, he went on to have short stints at Monaco and Olympiacos. He left football on his own terms, not on cancer's. So those were our 10 players who overcame the odds, but who did we miss out and who would you have included? Let us know in the comments below. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out our top 10 title deciding signings. And as ever guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.